Hi guys, welcome to another All Things Tennis Racket review video. Today we're looking at the Head Boom. You might not have seen it before, it's brand new for 2022, they've never done it before, and it features their brand new technology, enlisted. We're going to take you through the Head Boom MP and Head Boom Pro. So I'm joined here today with Kiran. Kiran's one of my oldest friends. He's a good tennis player. We describe him as maybe an intermediate club level player, maybe with illusions of grandeur about being advanced. He's going to give firstly his view on what he thought about the racket. Just to give a bit of context, Kiran uses a head gravity MP. Okay, so a similar weight to the Boom MP. However, the gravity MP with a slightly smaller head size, but still focusing on that kind of teardrop head with the Graphene 360 Plus technology rather than the enlisted. So I'll hand you the racket and give us your best opinion on it.
Thank you, Ross. As an expert tennis player, and as you know, the person who taught Ross all he knows about tennis, I found this racket very easy to play with. I think it's probably a racket that would suit players from the intermediate, which is my level, to anywhere up to sort of higher end advanced players. Compared to the Gravity MP, which I'm used to, which I play with regularly, it's got a lot more power, a very forgiving racket. Found I was generating a lot of pace on the ball. It was always landing near the baseline with less effort than I would have to with the MP. From a sort of spin point of view as well, found top spin was going well with it on the forehand and the backhand. Also with the serve was strong, again without having to put too much pressure through the shoulder when doing my first serve. Volleying as well, good, solid all round. So overall, yeah, really would recommend this racket for anyone looking to sort of maybe take the next step up in their game, or just try something new with a lot of power.
Okay, so you currently use the Gravity MP. They're actually very similar spec-wise, so both 100 square inches, both 295 grams. The probably major difference is the obviously new exotic technology in the Boom, and the Gravity MP is actually a 1620 pattern, so probably going to be a bit more control orientated, where the Boom is 1619. Definitely for me personally, it was a more powerful racket than the Gravity Speed. I think it's going to be Head's most powerful racket line. But what did you think in terms of how did it differ from the Gravity MP?
So with the Gravity, I felt there's more control, which I personally like. As a player who tries to generate a lot of power with the swing, I actually personally prefer my Gravity MP. Perhaps because I'm used to it, but I just felt with the Boom, even though my shots were powerful and going nice and deep, they weren't necessarily going where I was aiming for them to go in the same way as they would with the Gravity. So again, I suppose it depends on your playing style.
And of course, playing level as well. It's not all down to the racket, is it?
No, that's certainly true. I mean, I could probably play with any racket and still beat you. So
yeah. For me, I'm currently using a VCore 95. It's quite a different racket than a Boom. The Boom, obviously you've got the MP, let's focus on that first. So 295 grams, 100 inch head and 1619. That really is what it felt like. It felt like a powerful racket. For me, it was actually quite addictive, the idea of just putting balls away with ease. I found that had so much power on tap that you could easily just swing through and just dominate points. I really did actually like that exotic feel of when I was going for something firmer, maybe a flatter, maybe more of a slap shot. It definitely feels like it firms up for me. Whereas on slow touch shots, especially a slice, it felt so smooth. So I was actually really pleasantly surprised with the MP. It's not in my wheelhouse in terms of specs that I go for with a frame, but it actually was really addictive, fun to play with. And I think that's where they're going to go with the line. A racket you can pick up and play with easily, easy power on tap, nice and forgiving, definitely Head's most forgiving range. Whereas it can still be a player's racket. So for example, the Boom Pro, that's 310 grams, 98 inches, and it's a slightly thinner beam. And that for me really shone through in terms of the control element of the racket was much better with the Pro compared to the MP. But the MP had that addictive pickup, just like dominate from the back of the court. The Boom Pro is more of a conventional 98 310, similar maybe to an extreme tour, but possibly a little bit more forgiving with this teardrop head. So what did you think about the design elements of the racket? Obviously it's got that two-tone look which all heads seem to need nowadays in terms of the different colours. It's quite a striking turquoise and blue. Obviously the gravity you've got is that flip design. Do you prefer the cosmetics of this or your gravity?
I mean, I think you said it all there really, but yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the two-tone design. For me personally, a lot of the louder looking rackets aren't particularly my style as someone who's very much into their appearance. No, the two-tone is good, and I like the turquoise colour. Yeah, nice, simple, but eye-catching as well, which is what you want in a racket.
And the auxetic technology, did you feel you can notice a racket stiffening up at all when you're going for a more, maybe a flatter, harder shot compared to when you were trying to hit a drop shot?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to know what auxetic technology means, I suppose. But yeah, perhaps to an extent. Now you mention it.
And the overriding take home of the racket then, what would you, if you could design your perfect player to pick up and play the racket, what would they look like? What would they play like?
Someone who already has the basics down, is solid with their ground strokes, but just wants to be able to pick up a racket that they're going to be able to hit those ground strokes with maybe a little bit more power.
Yeah, maybe someone that struggles to put the ball away or something like that.
Yeah,
that would be my take.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think, but that being said, I think even with a player that can put the ball away, it would be useful. Someone like yourself, I think it could work for either.
So for me, it's quite a difficult one to really pigeonhole, because when I picked up the MP, shouldn't be in my wheelhouse, but it was actually really addictively fun to play with. I didn't feel like the ball was flying on me that much, even though it's 16-19. You'll see from the videos, Kiran's running around all over the place, just picking up balls after I've hit winners. So I was definitely had control with that with this racket. The Pro, yeah, someone in the wheelhouse of who likes something that's 310 and 98. The Pro for me was a really nice, solid racket, but where the boom was so different for me was the MP, where it was like that addictive power. Let's clarify, MP 295, someone that has, again, solid technique, but wants to be able to put the ball away, wants that extra power, but still a decent player, still you say an intermediate club level player. I'm not sure it's going to be for an outright beginner. Even though it's powerful, it felt like you needed to hit with a little bit of spin to be able to control it. And it's definitely not like a powerful enough racket for someone that's got a shorter swing. So think about more like your extreme powers or variations of something with slightly bigger head size for an outright beginner. And obviously the weight at 295 is going to be a little bit hefty for an outright beginner, I'd say. And the Pro, someone that's a good level player. 310's heavy. I mean, in modern day terms, 310 would have been light years ago, but 310, most rackets, even tall players' rackets, are around that 305, 16-19, 98 inches. Seems to be perfect these days. So someone looking for a bit more stability than an extreme tour, a bit more stability than a strike 16-19, etc. So I would use a shaped poly, something like a Slinker Tour Bite, Headlinks Tour, etc. for the Boom Pro, because I think that sort of player that would be using that racket is after control, would like to be aggressive from the baseline, and a softer string, they're just going to find the ball flying on them. And the string for the Head Boom MP, I would go for something softer. So that feel was nice and crisp with the auxetic. Obviously Head Links as standard comes with the racket. But yeah, maybe something like Head Links Touch was a fusion between polyester and multi-filament. Something that's going to give you a little bit more feel, softer around the net, etc. The MP is probably not for someone that's a massive aggressive string breaker anyway. They might be using the Pro. So yeah, something that stays in nice in the racket. Links Touch, maybe something like Technifiber Triax, Babolat RPM Soft. If obviously you're looking for lots of spin, hybrid it, maybe get a shaped poly in the mains and then a soft cross like a multi in the cross. So guys, thanks again for watching another All Things Tennis racket review video. Apologies for the poor humour from Kiran here, and hopefully we've got enough material to show him making a few balls in the highlight reel, thanks to Aaron behind the camera. Please like and subscribe if you like our videos. Also, I found it really helpful when we get comments to see which you like, what rackets you'd like us to review next, maybe what strings, etc. What do you need to know from us? Let us know and we will do it as best we can. Thanks, nice to see you again.